Hello friends, I welcome you to my YouTube channel MaxPM. So in this video we will start with welding joints. What are the welded joints? We will see first, then we will see what are the advantages and disadvantages of welded joints compared to other joints, and at last we will see what is difference between welded versus soldering versus brazing joint. Okay, so let's start with the welding joints. So first of all, what is the welded joints? So welded joint is a permanent joint which is obtained by fusion of the edges of the parts which are joined together. So suppose this is a plate and this is another plate. Then if you have to do welding, then you have to apply an electrode rod or a flame, and by this we can also apply a filler material, and we will apply heat here, and this filler material will melt and go inside this joint, and this parent material will also melt and they will fuse together. So welding joint is a permanent joint, so you cannot detach it. Like in case of nut bolt or threaded joints, you can remove the nut and you can remove the two plates, but in case of welded joints it is permanent joint. So you can either apply pressure or not. So if you apply only heat, then it is called fusion weld. Okay, fusion weld is also of three types, like gas welding, okay, electric arc welding, and thermite welding. Okay, in next few videos we will see in detail what are they. And then we have forged welding. If we are applying pressure also, we are applying heat plus pressure, then it will become fusion welding. Okay, now what are the advantages of welded joints? So first one is it is lightweight. See, if in case of rivet joints, if we had to join these two plates or nut bolt, so we have to add another plate here, and then we will make holes and we will join them together. Okay, but in case of welding, if you have to join these two, then you have to just melt this and fill material here, and with the fusion it will be joined. So it is very light with no extra material added, or very less material is added in the welding joint. Second, it is very lightweight. First, second, it is very strong. Okay, so if we have to add two plates with nut and bolts, suppose they are two plates, and if we have to add them or join them with nut and bolts, then we have to make hole in this joint, okay, or plates. So by making hole, we are making these plates weaker than the parent material or original plates. So if this plate or this joint become weaker. Okay, but in case of welding, we are making no holes. So if we have to join these two plates, so we just have to add here welding or like this, and we are not making any hole or anything in this plate. So it is very strong, as often sometimes it is as strong as the original plates. So third one is very high efficiency. Okay, so what is the efficiency of joints? N is strength of the joint by strength of original plate. Okay, so in case of rivet joints or bolt joints, screw joints, it is around 50-60%, but in case of welding joints, you can see that we have just discussed the strength of the welded joints are as much as original plate. So in this case, sometimes efficiency is around 100%, because welding joint is almost similar, having almost similar strength as of original plates. Okay, so 4, very smooth or good appearance. Okay, so if we are adding nut bolts etc, then they will extrude out of the joint. They will look like this. Here you can see. But in case of welding, we add welding here, material here. Okay, so in case of welding, joint is very smooth. Or suppose there are two plates and we are doing butt joint. Okay, so it is like this. So in this case, it is very smooth joint. Okay, you cannot distinguish from far away that it is joint. Okay, you have to go near and feel it. And fifth one is, sometimes if we have to add extra parts, suppose or we have to join complicated parts, like suppose there are very thin pipes, okay, tubes, metal tubes, and we have to join them, then it is difficult. It can be joined using other methods, but it is very difficult. But in case of welding, we just put them together and just do welding all around them, so it is very easy. Sixth one is, or suppose it is tooth of a gear. This is a gear and it is having some tooth. Okay, and if one tooth breaks, then you cannot add this by nut bolt or rivet joint etc. You can just weld it. Okay, so it is very easy here. Next one is requires very less space. So if you have to do other joints, you have to make hole and do other things, so they require clearance or space. But welding can be done if space is very less. Okay, so it can be done anywhere almost. And seventh is very economical. So as we discussed in this first part, that we have to not add any nut bolt or any plate etc. So we don't have to add very much extra material. We have to just add filler material and heat. So we are not adding any extra material, so material required is less, so it is very economical. Okay, next is fast. Welding can be done very fast. Okay, so it is taking very less time. Next one is, what are the disadvantages? Another advantage is leak proof joints. It can be done in tanks and pipes, everything, to get leak proof joint. Okay, next one is disadvantage. First one is distortion. So if this is one plate and if this is another plate, we are going to weld, so we are applying heat here. Okay, we are applying heat here. So if we are applying heat here, then this original metal also get heated. Okay, this also get heated up to here. Suppose we are doing welding here only, but it's getting heated up to here, and due to that there may be stresses developed in these plates and they may get distorted. Okay, second one is high skill required. Okay, so welding cannot be done by everyone. If you need better welding and smooth welding, then you need highly skilled labor. Okay, third one is when this joint is heated, these two plates are heated along with the joint, then there may be stress development in these plates and there may be development of cracks. So cracks may develop due to welding joint. Okay, next, inspection is very hard. In other joints you can do visual inspection. Okay, but in welding it is not possible to do you can do visual inspection, but you cannot be 100% sure. Suppose they are two plates to be joined and you added filler material here and melted here. Suppose it is welding is formed here and from this side here. If there is gap in between these two plates, then it is very difficult to know. Okay, and if there is some porosity here, air is trapped, like this is welding and you did like this, but there are some holes, small holes due to trapped air or something else, so it may become very weak joint. Okay, so its inspection is not very easy. You need NDT, non-destructive test, and ultrasonic test and other things to test it. Okay, next, what is difference between welding, soldering and brazing? So in case of welding, base metal is fused. So if we are welding two plates, so in most of the cases these metals also plates also get melted. Okay, but in case of brazing, brazing material, if these are two plates, in case of soldering and brazing, what happens, there is a filler material and with application of heat flame this material is melted and this go inside. Original plate doesn't melt. Okay, in case of welding, high temperature is required, high temperature and high power, okay, to melt the original joints. In this case, brazing, low temperature, low power. Usually brazing is above 450 degrees Celsius and soldering is below 450 degrees Celsius. So soldering is requiring very less heat and brazing requires more heat than soldering but less than welding. In third case, high distortion. So as we discussed, this plated which have to be joined are also heated, so heat stress develops in them, and that's why they get distorted. In brazing, plates are heated very little bit. It is above 450 degrees Celsius, so some portion of the plates are heated but not melted, so there are some distortion, some stresses. Okay, in soldering, plates are not heated, it is below 400 degrees Celsius usually, so plates are not distorted usually. High stress, due to heat expansion happens, and later when it cools, then joint sinks, so high stresses are developed. Here low stresses, here also low stress because temperature is less. Microstructure of base metal change. Okay, so due to heat treatment, if these two plates are to be welded, then these plates are also melted, and due to heat treatment their microstructure changes. Okay, there is no change in the brazing and soldering because base material is not melting. Dissimilar metal joints difficult to join. So in welding, usually two similar plates are joined. Okay, because they have similar melting point, because they have to be melted, so they should have similar melting point. Dissimilar metal can be also joined, but it is difficult. But in case of brazing and soldering, any type of metals can be joined because they are joined by adhesion, by melting of the filler material. Thin sheet difficult to weld. Okay, because if this is very thin sheet, then if you are going to apply heat here, then they get melted. Okay, because it is high temperature, so it may be difficult to join. But here we are not melting plates, we are just putting some melted liquid and it get freezes, it solidifies and add two plates. Okay, high strength, welding is very high strength, this is low strength but higher than soldering joints. Okay, so this is comparison of their strength. So welding joint is having highest strength and brazing is lower than that, and soldering is having least strength. So this is the comparison between welding, brazing and soldering. I hope you understood this. If you have any doubt, then you can ask in the comment section. Thank you for watching.